And then she's like, the problem lies in the parents can't accept black ones. So yeah.
Hey guys, hope you are well. So today I've gathered a couple of my good friends and we're gonna have a little bit of a chit chat about what it's really like to be black in China. We all work here as English teachers, but we came from different countries. If you don't know, I'm from England. What about you guys?
I'm from Jamaica.
I'm from America, California.
Cool, and we've all been living and working in Shanghai, China for over a year. So I think we have a good mix of experience to share with you about, what it's really like being black in China. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was, how did you find the process of getting a job here in China? Did you experience any kind of discrimination or difficulty getting a job here? We all we're friends from the same company. So obviously the company we worked at hires black people. But I've stayed in the company, but these two of us gone on to get new jobs. So I think it's quite interesting to and then talk about how you found finding a job whilst you were in China.
Yeah. While being in China was definitely a different story. It was harder, and a lot of the microaggressions and the prejudices, that's when you start to feel it, especially in job hunting. I work at a kindergarten, I guess that's okay to say. And I finished my contract at my last school where we all met, and then I moved on to the next school earlier this year. And that process was definitely disheartening because I'm from Jamaica. I grew up in a largely I don't want to say African, black or Afro-Caribbean society. The majority of us are of African descent. So I honestly never experienced racism straight to my face. I would see it on TV. What I really experienced back home was just colorism, classism, things like that, but I never felt that I was hated or disliked or less than because of my race. So my first time feeling that was in China, and it was definitely a shock, especially when getting a job should be merit-based. If you're qualified, then you should get it. So I'm thinking I'm qualified, then let's move to the next step. But my qualifications were only skin deep, and I did not qualify for a lot of jobs being black.
There was an instance in for different tutoring jobs I got. I kind of got close with the lady who kind of dispersed the different tutoring jobs throughout the city. And it's a demo class, so you go into the demo class, and after you do the demo, they can decide if they want to go with you or not. And so I would go into the class, and I thought I would do a good job, and the kids would like me, the parents, said they would like me, right? And then they would tell me, oh, feedback, sorry, they want a female teacher. And I'm like, that seems fishy to me, because they knew I was a man coming in. I can deal with criticism if it's along the lines of something I can control. Okay, fair enough, but I'm like, hey, that seems kind of fishy. Is it really because I'm a man, or they want a female? Yeah. She was like, well, they mentioned your skin color, so I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So I was like, that's what you deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get a job, but I'm on all of those job posts, and sometimes you do get really overt racism. Hey, looking for white teacher.
Do we want to read some?
Do you have some? Do it.
Let's try to find them. This is from my coworker. He works at a training center and he's leaving. So they're asking him to find someone to replace. So, so he's saying, I have a nice black girl for you. And the recruiter, and he's only saying that because he's white, and his experiences before where he's suggested someone who's black, and they're
I know that person.
They're like, no. So he purposely says black to see what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
And then she's like, the problem lies in the parents can't accept black ones. So there is so much more. I've been saving these.
For me, I think they're more willing to accept you if you're light skinned.
Yes. Perfect example.
Right.
Literally for my interview,
my
recruiter told me, please dress up professionally and don't make up heavily. They prefer light skin.
Wow, that's so bad.
My friend was applying, and his recruiter said they changed their mind because you're a little bit brown. Lighter. Another person said, this was in relation to me. I was applying, and they said, sorry, only white. Such high salary. School will not hire black.
That's just
so literal evidence.
Really bad.
Of and it goes on. I have a whole album dedicated to this. I suffered a bit.
Yeah, I mean, even though there clearly is still racism in the job market. I mean, it's possible to get a job if you're black. And there's many schools that maybe won't hire you because you're black. They'll also
Right.
lots of other schools
Yeah.
which will. Okay, should we move on to the next question?
Yeah, let's do it.
So the next question is just more general, like everyday life in China. How? Because we've all been here for over a year. So we've been living here for over a year. Like, how has your experience been with the locals, with Chinese people, being black, person of color? How has it been?
For me, I always get like, oh, it's the same microaggressions you get on the campus in America. Like, oh, you must play sports. Like, what sports do you play? Oh, you're the PE teacher here. I'm like, no, I'm the English teacher here. And then they just come up and like think they can just like grab me, like, oh, you're so strong, yada yada yada. Because you know, like I'm bigger than they are, so I'm much bigger. So it's always like those kind of microaggressions. Like, oh, you must be an athlete. You must play sports. Like, yada yada yada. Yeah, because I'm black.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, I mean, I think, before I came to China, like, I read like a lot of stuff online and, you know, about how racist China is and how you have, so I was like preparing myself just to have thick skin.
For some reason, I missed all of that.
Really?
I don't know why. I missed all of that.
Same. I didn't hear about any
I didn't even think about it for some reason.
I was a little bit scared of what I could experience, and I was like, okay, I need to have thick skin. If someone says something to me, I can't react. Like, I have to be strong. But I mean, my experience here has been generally good. Like, and no one's been like overtly racist to me. Like, for sure, people love to stare because you're different. People love to, when I first came, I had braids. They like to touch your hair. They like to, stare a lot. And I'm literally like Beyonce here, especially when I travel outside of Shanghai, like Hangzhou, Beijing, like people are just taking pictures left, right, and center. But yeah, I feel like people are more kind of curious, like because they don't see someone like us that often. And yeah, I've only had like one experience which wasn't like a racist experience, more of an ignorance experience. And I was waiting to cross a road, and a policewoman came up to me, and she kind of just like got my hand, and she kind of just did this, like looking, seeing if the brown would come off. And I was just I was just stunned. I was like, really? Like, how ignorant can you be? Like, that really shocked me. Like,
wow.
And then she said something, and I was like, shana, shana, shana. I was like, oh.
Wow.
Come on. So that was like kind of the biggest, most interesting experience. But generally, like the Chinese people I've interacted with have been really nice, and I haven't it's not like as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
For me, I will honestly say I haven't had anyone say anything to me face to face, and I feel like the language barrier protects us a lot from if anyone is saying anything. But I am sensitive. I'm really sensitive. So the only issues I've had is with job searching, and every other point of racism is stories I've heard about from friends. I have a friend who, you know, their mom told their kid that they're black because they don't shower. Another person, like my friend who's like fluent in Chinese, he was on the train with his other friend. They're both black, and this husband was telling his wife that we're black because God hates Africa and put the sun on us. So I've heard about a lot of stories of other people, but I've honestly I haven't had a negative experience. I think it's more the staring and definitely sneaky pictures. Just 2 weeks ago, I'm on the metro sitting right beside a Chinese guy, and him and his friend across are laughing, and I just glance over at his phone, and there's a picture of me on his phone, and they're chatting away, and I'm like, I'm right beside you. Like, come on.
And I don't know, for some reason everybody thinks I'm from Tanzania. Like, I don't know what China's obsession is with Tanzania. But every time like I'm taking a taxi, they're like, oh, Tanzania. I'm like, no. They're like, no, everyone. I don't know, like, if I spent time with Tanzania, but everyone thinks I'm from Tanzania. But again, I think generally all of our experiences have been good, like, generally. In China, like I'm definitely not saying that I've had like a horrible racist experience. Like I said, like I really haven't experienced any overt racism. And
I think it's how strong you are. Because I don't consider myself that strong when it comes to these things. Like, I'm not very tolerant, so it does annoy me. Like on a day-to-day basis, it annoys me. It just depends on, like, you know, how strong you are and if you've experienced it before.
So I think it's obvious that, you know, China still has some way to go in terms of like the way that they treat black people and the perceptions of black people. So how can we, I guess, improve perceptions of black people in China and how we get treated?
Well, I think the best thing you can do is just to be like the best teacher that you can be, because the way I look at it is like I can't control how you kind of view me before you know me, but I try to be the best teacher I can be, because, you know, I mean, there's always a saying, it's like, when you're black, you gotta be better, and that's just how it is. So that's how I approach it. I was like, if I'm an amazing teacher, then these Chinese teachers are gonna say, well, you know, before we met this teacher, this is the first black teacher we had, and he's amazing, like, he's really good with these kids. And it's just like, maybe what I thought about black teachers, all black teachers are wrong. So, but just by being a model of excellence, I think that's one way that you can break down those stereotypes.
It's good that we have access to the new generation. Kids, for the most part, don't really see your color. They see it, but you know, they don't have those negative ties attached to it yet. So it's good that we can have that influence on them.
Yeah, totally agree. Like I think the best thing is just like what we're doing now, actually coming to China and living here and working with Chinese people, because like if they have stereotypes like Obama or basketball player, like they can see that not every black person is the same, not everyone is from Africa, that we're all different and we have different voices, different accents,
and we
different
can speak English.
Yes, different ways of being. And like you said, Shireen, just like actually educating the youth, the young people, because like you said, like they know you're black, but they don't know like the stereotypes, you know. And for the most part, like even if they're a little bit scared at the beginning, they end up loving you, and then they grow up and they're like, oh, black person is just so weird. I had a teacher who was like, that's not good to me. So I think just more black people coming to China and traveling here and just representing and just showing that.
And also, I think another thing we can do is like, if you're white, then use that privilege to kind of speak up, like, no, that's wrong, and like, you know, like speak up and use that platform, because like that's powerful as well. So like if you're watching this and you're a white teacher, don't just kind of like speak up if you truly care about, you know, diversity, so to speak, and if you truly care about, you know, the plight of others. I think it's important that as a white teacher you speak up when these things are happening.
One final point, like any kind of interesting piece of information that you didn't know before you came here, like to help a black person who would come. For example, like I didn't know people use the N-word. But not in a derogatory term. Like it's just it means just like
or something like that. So or it's that like nigga can be that jigga.
So they use it like all the time, and like I didn't know that. So like when I first heard it and someone just said it like near me, I was like, what? Right. Like what did you say?
Isn't it also how they say So when you're like they're like nigga. I was in my office like, that's low though. Oh, and you know what? Like for me, whenever I go to a new country, like only a black person can cut my hair, because that's just, so it's important to find your black barber. So there's different group chats you can get into. So because like for out here, like if someone's gonna cut my hair, I couldn't find anybody. It was like a bunch of Chinese people. I'm like, I'm not going there. I'd just rather just grow my hair out. So I'd say like make sure you find a barber, or look in advance, because I was looking busted for a while, and that affects your self-esteem. So I mean, like before you come, make sure you have you know, a barber if you can. Try to reach out and just go from there.
And on the point of beauty, when it comes to makeup and certain products, bring your own. However, there is Taobao, so don't worry about it too much. Don't pack your suitcase with like 10 black soaps. Taobao will sort you out. Taobao, once you get on that, you can honestly find your shade and stuff.
And I would just say, like, it's gonna be upsetting, but know where you're at, because this is China. This is not like, this is different. So like they will gang up on you. So it is a very us versus you mentality. It can be. So like these things are frustrating. They'll enrage you, but be mindful that, you know, this is China, and again, like it doesn't matter if you're right and they're wrong. Like they'll gang up on you. So, so just remember where you're at. Just be smart. Like pick your battles. Pick your battles wisely, because not everything's worth it. So, you know, protect your peace. You know?
On that point, be on your best behavior here. Like just be on your best behavior. And it sucks to have to represent your race all the time, but just be on your best behavior, because we're here to make changes. And you know, we just can't perpetuate the stereotypes. Exactly. Well, okay, that's it. I hope this video was really interesting, and thank you guys so much for doing it with me.
Thanks for having us.
If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I forgot to mention, Shireen also started a YouTube channel like recently, so follow her at what is your name?
Shireen Phillips. It's hard to spell, but the link will be down below.
Yeah, I'll link it down below. So thank you so much and see you next time. Goodbye.